In the previous lecture, we talked about business performance measurements and financial analysis. In this lecture, we will talk about competitive advantage and business strategy. Let's begin with competitive advantage. Throughout the last three lectures, first business operations basics, then management planning and business objectives, and then business performance measurement and financial analysis, the one single word that is the underlying theme in all that was said in these lectures is the word competition. Indeed, in a world without competition, is there still a need to manage the business, improve performance, make plans, select and set objectives, measure performance, analyze performance? I guess not. But if you have to compete, you need to know something about the nature of business competition and about competitive advantage. What is business competition? Business competition is the rivalry among business competitors that are competing in the same market. The game of competing with one another is to stay in the competition as long as you can and hopefully drive some of the competitors out of the competition. Therefore, it is clear that the ultimate goal of any business is to maintain healthy profits in order to stay in the competition and hopefully to increase sales and market share to drive some competitors out of the competition. Some businesses are less competitive and the others are more. If you are going to stay in the market to compete in that business, you should be familiar with the strengths and weaknesses of your own business and also with the strengths and weaknesses of your competitors. What is competitive advantage? Competitive advantage refers to factors that allow a company to perform better than its market rivals. And better usually means more sales or superior margins compared to its market rivals. Competitive advantage is attributed to a variety of factors. This could include the intellectual property that leads to better functionality or quality for the product or service. The cost structure, which includes sources of material supplies, the distribution network, and the customer service. Essentially, the costs of operations that lead to a lower selling price for the product or service. The brand image, which includes superior values that lead to a superior customer satisfaction for the product or service. What is business strategy? A business strategy is an outline of the planned actions that a business will take to create the competitive advantage that a business can rely on to compete, thereby achieving its goals. Every organization needs a clear strategy so as to maintain healthy profits in order to stay in the competition and hopefully to increase sales and market share to drive some competitors out of the competition. The strategy guides the decision-making process for resource allocation, and it helps different departments work together, making sure that the decisions made in each department supports the overall direction of the company. What are the strategies that a business can choose from, and how do you decide on the best strategy for the business? Michael Porter in 1985 set out the generic strategies a business can choose from. In his book, Competitive Advantage: Creating and Sustaining Superior Performance, Michael Porter called these generic strategies cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. He then subdivided the focus strategy into two parts: cost focus and differentiation focus. In simple terms, should you offer a no-frills product or service that costs the least and sold at the cheapest price, or a unique product or service that creates uniquely desirable values and sold at a higher price, or a product or service that focuses on a niche market instead of a broad one to satisfy only a uniquely specialized need. As a point of clarification here, the terms cost focus and differentiation focus do not mean a focus on costs or a focus on differentiation. Rather, cost focus means a source of competitive advantage that emphasizes cost minimization within a focused market, and differentiation focus means a source of competitive advantage that pursues strategic differentiation within a focused market. And accordingly, costs means a source of competitive advantage that emphasizes cost minimization within a broad market, and differentiation means a source of competitive advantage that pursues strategic differentiation within a broad market. These are shown in this figure. Let's talk about the costs leadership strategy. There are two main ways of achieving this within a broad market: increasing profits by reducing costs while charging industrial average prices, increasing market share by charging lower prices while still making a reasonable profit on each sale because you have reduced costs. What about the differentiation strategy? To make a success of a differentiation strategy, organizations need good research, development, and innovation, the ability to deliver high quality products or services, effective sales and marketing so that the market understands the benefits offered by the differentiated offerings. How about the focus strategy? Whether you use cost focus or differentiation focus, the key to making a success of a generic focus strategy is to ensure that you are adding something extra as a result of serving only that niche market. You focus on only one market segment, not simply because your organization is too small to serve a broader market. That will be the wrong decision for the wrong reason. If you do that, you risk being the first one driven out of the competition. Why? You have no competitive advantage. That's why. You focus on only one market segment because you have something extra that is so unique to only that one market segment. And that something extra is not a competitive advantage anymore in a broader market. The something extra that you add in your product or service can contribute to reducing your costs, perhaps through your knowledge of specialists, suppliers, distribution channels, customer service, and so on, or increasing your differentiation through your deep understanding of customers' needs. Which one of the generic strategy is right for my business? Your choice of which generic strategy to pursue underpins every other decisions you make. So it is worth spending time to get it right. Michael Porter specifically warns against trying to hedge your bets by following more than one strategy. One of the most important reasons why this is a wise advice is that the things you need to do to make each type of strategy work do not appeal to the same type of people. They do not complement each other because the target customers are not the same. Cost leadership requires a very detailed internal focus on processes. Differentiation, on the other hand, demands an outward-facing, highly creative approach. So when you come to choose which of the three generic strategies is right for you, it is vital that you take your organization's competencies and strengths, deficiencies and weaknesses into account. What do you do to come to a choice among the three generic strategies? There are three key components in the decision for a business strategy. You decide on a generic strategy based on the following: vision and business objectives, core values, and SWOT analysis. Let's look at these three key components one by one. Vision and business objectives. What you want to be and what you not want to be. The business strategy is intended to help you realize your vision and reach your business objectives. It is your vision and business objectives that dictate the direction of the business. Do you want to serve many people in a broad market or few people in a focused market? Core values. What you care about and what you not care about. The business strategy is intended to help you deliver the values that are important to you and the customers. It is the values that are important to you and your customers that dictate the kind of product or service that you want to deliver. Do you deliver the cost benefits or the uniquely specialized benefit? SWOT analysis. What you can do and what you cannot do. SWOT stands for the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This analysis allows you to discover the competitive advantages you can create and the handicaps that you suffer from. Are you most suited for serving the broad market or the focused market? Delivering cost benefits or uniquely specialized benefits? What do you do to implement the chosen strategy? There are three key components in the business plans that you have to make to implement the strategy. Your business plans must include tactics, resource allocation, and measurement. Let's look at these three key components one by one. Tactics. What are the tasks that should be carried out? How do you go about carrying out these tasks? What resources do you need to take actions? Who are responsible for these actions? In the second lecture, we already discussed the typical format of a business plan. Resource allocation. What resources do you have and not have but needed? Where do you want to put them to good use to achieve your vision and business objectives? In the third lecture, we already discussed the concept of total asset turnover ratio. How well do you make use of your assets to generate revenue? Measurement. How do you track the performance of your business? How do you know if you are achieving goals? If not, why not? What do you do to make corrections? In the third lecture, we already discussed the concept of financial analysis. What are the factors that influence successful implementation of the strategy? Cost strategy. To implement the cost strategy successfully, you will need to be able to invest in new technology to improve the efficiency of production. And you need to have efficient logistics too. You must also make sure that your spending on items such as labor, materials, and facilities is kept low. For cost strategy to work, it is essential that you continually monitor and reduce your costs. Differentiation strategy. To implement the differentiation strategy successfully, you will need to make your product or service attractive and unique in comparison to those of your competitors. You must excel in a particular feature of the product, or specialize in a particular service, or have a highly valued brand image, or be renowned for your excellent customer service. Sales and marketing also play a vital role, and you need to make sure that you stay ahead of new trends in your industry. For differentiation strategy to work, it is essential that you are creative and innovative. Focus strategy. To implement the focus strategy successfully, you need that special something extra that customers cannot find anywhere else in the broad market. For focus strategy to work, it is essential that you possess a very deep understanding of the characteristics of the niche market and concentrate on meeting the uniquely specialized needs of the customers. This concludes the MBS lecture series. I hope you benefited from the lectures and begin to manage your business much better now than you ever have before. Goodbye.